Hey guys, PJ back with Exotic Car Hacks, and today we are going to be talking about the car market. Now, we've been talking about the car market, we've been talking about prices coming down on certain cars, and we've been talking about the opportunity to get in and buy certain cars at certain prices. Now, I've said time and time again, as we looked at market analysis, I do this every month for you guys, we talk about the biggest elephant in the room, the electrification of many cars, the changes in what we can expect in the next 5 years, and that is scaring people. It's scaring people for one key reason. They're holding on to their cars instead of bringing them back in. This is the biggest difference. So one of the big differences that's just caused a lot of stability in the markets despite a lot of the liquidity leaving the markets in many cases. Now, we saw the crypto crash. We saw how much that impacted cars that were more generic like the Urus, the G63s, and some of the more mid-level cars like the Huracans, the 458s, 488s, kind of that mid-market, right? Like we saw that collapse, same with the F8s, and we saw it collapse not necessarily all the way to the bottom. We just saw a significant price adjustment occur because of the lack of liquidity in the market. Now, I have said time and time again that a lot of these new cars and new stuff, it was overpriced to begin with, so that was very normal. We actually don't really teach how to get in and out of those cars when it comes to Exotic Car Hacks unless they're very rare collectible versions of cars. People would argue the same with the SF90. They say, well, the SF90 has come down a lot from its peak and height. And the answer is yes, as a car it has. However, a Fiorina packaged, all carboned out SF90 is still near impossible to get at a good price on the market. So it all comes down to that, which is that not all cars are created equal, and certainly not all cars are coming down extremely hard. I mean, we saw the SVJ market. Many of you guys saw the adjustment occur, and you said, wow, these have gone down 100K from their high of $1 million. Suddenly you're like, I can buy one for 800K, and boom, now they're back up in the 950s. So what is happening? Why are these things happening? So we know liquidity leaves the market. It creates fear, it creates panic, and people rush in to basically buy stuff, right? So that's reality of how things work, right? And that's generically everywhere. So there's always going to be what I call pocket opportunities to buy stuff as markets settle down. Now, we knew the newer stuff would come down, and we knew that the liquidity that left the market would drive prices to come down. I mean, come on, 150 over for a G63, something you could have bought just walking in a dealer that they were giving a 30K discount on. Really? Without the limited numbers, knowing 3 more years of it exist? What about the Lamborghini Urus? They used to have 9 of them sitting on the lot and you could pick one. They had 5 coming and none of them would get claimed. They were giving 30, 40K discounts. I was buying them at those discounts back then. So what happened? Like, why are these things happening now and prices come down? Well, those cars were never meant to hold up. They were holding up based on significant supply shortages, based on significant demand increases. Now, once supply was not really limited, but demand was through the roof, when demand settled back down, it's basic economics, supply and demand, so price goes down, right? And then we had this other ideology, which is the world is changing. Things are getting electrified and it's scaring people. I ordered the latest electric Rolls-Royce. Does it matter? No, because it's a Rolls-Royce. So a Rolls-Royce is expected to be a quiet car. So having an electric version might even make it a much more pleasant and better experience with better gas mileage, more power, more excitement, and yet still creates a very exciting, quiet, and symphonic experience in the car. So that is exactly going to be a revolution for that brand and marquee, right? However, when looking at cars like exotics, like everything from a Bugatti to a Ford GT to a Ferrari to a Lamborghini, you like noise because noise is exciting. It creates an experience, and this experience is going away, and people are scared of it. Listen, I drove a Rimac, you know, that new thing that's basically like this Bugatti, but it's like supposed to be the fastest thing on earth. It outpaced the SF90 by a lot, and that says a lot because this thing is really fast. And I thought I was going to die. No matter how fast it was just so boring, so unexciting, and so stupid that I felt that no matter what it entailed of the future, it just didn't entail my passion, my excitement, or anything else. And listen, we saw the same thing occur with manual transmissions. And look at what happened. Manual transmissions went away. That extra pedal that you had to be someone excited, that new cars to drive, that went away, and now we shift things with our hands. But here's the exciting part about it. We're still involved, it just shifted how it works. Now they're taking away the experience of the drive, and that's very interesting to see how that plays out over the next 5 to 8 years. And even if somehow they magically put sound through the speakers or figure out a way to make the experience better, the real question that remains is how long between now and then? We know that when cars went from manual transmissions to e-gear transmissions, there was a good 6 to 7 years where e-gear transmissions were complete trash. So the question was, why would you ever give up your 6-speed? It didn't make sense. In addition to that, outside of just the fact that they were trash to drive and it just made the whole drive experience completely unpleasant, look at what happened to the cost of 6 speeds as they started being phased out altogether. Well, the cost started going to the roof. And a lot of times, people are expecting the same thing to happen to normal, exciting exotics that are now being electrified and are going to lose their experience and their excitement as a result of that. So you're going, I mean, look at what happened to the Charger. Like they talked about this new Charger or like Scat Pack, whatever, and it doesn't make any noise and it's a muscle car. It's pathetic. So people are hanging on to their cars like anything. They're saying, wait a minute, like if that's what's coming, it's not even a question of I want to make money later. It's a question that I'm not interested in the new product. So I don't want to get rid of my car now. And this is becoming a real issue in the car space. That is why year after year, despite the liquidity leaving the market, these older, more exciting exotic cars are not only holding their value, but in many cases, as supply is disappearing off the market, even going further up down the chain. I mean, we saw in the middle of what we considered somewhat of a recession in the last 6 to 8 months, some exotic cars go up as much as 20 to 30% above, again, cars that were dropping 50%. So, you know, again, this brings back to my topic that at Exotic Car Hacks, I teach people exactly how to select cars, which exotics to buy, but it brings me back to this topic that all exotics are not created equal. So what can you expect in the markets going forward? You're going to still see in 23 that there's still a liquidity issue in the market and the cars are not moving as fast. You're still going to find a couple of pocket deals, especially if they're not happening now. You need to be looking now because there's some incredibly good deals to be bought right now. And the other thing you're going to start noticing too that's really important to pay attention to is that over the next 6 months, you're going to start noticing cars disappear off the market because people taking their bets on certain cars. And you're going to see that little by little, as the supply leaves the market, less and less units are coming back in volume. Me and my friend have a bet. He says that as new electric cars come in, people will absolutely dump their old cars and trade them into the dealership like they did before. And I've argued that that is never going to happen again, especially as generational shifts are happening in the space. Will someone trade in their SVJ against the new Aventador? That is the question to be asked. Or will they be keeping it in the garage and also add an Aventador? And that is the ultimate question that we won't be able to answer until we have 6 months of data on the new cars to appear. We know one thing for a fact. As you have cars like the Urus go to the Urus Performante and then to the Urus S, certainly the Urus as a product is going to weaken. We know this. This is not news. As we know that as G63s come out with G63 squared and better variations of the car, before they go electric, we know those cars are going to tame down. But will they do that once the actual electric infusion takes its effect in full? And what will happen then? You know, will people do that for the Aventador? I don't know, because that's a different product. A lot of people didn't give up their LP640s when they got Aventadors. So the argument is LP640s were never in high numbers on sale. And we've seen that Aventadors are still holding at an incredibly strong price compared to what we're used to in the market pre-2019. So there is a real shift coming, and that shift is providing cars to leave the market once they're bought and just never come back. And that's been one of the biggest frustrations for people, is that great specs are becoming harder and harder to come by because the people buying them aren't really interested in selling them, even if they could make money. So consider that, and more importantly, consider joining Exotic Car Hacks to learn how to beat the markets, and more importantly, stay ahead of the real markets. I saw the other day that someone was asking $1.4 million for a Lamborghini Ultimate Roadster, where the wholesale value of that car is just $900,000. So I want you to understand that kind of spread. This is the kind of misinformation that exists on the internet. And in another video, we're going to look at the software that dealers are using to fool you into paying higher prices and how to avoid that. So make sure you turn on subscriptions, and of course, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, and then like, and of course, leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. Is the market heading even lower on certain cars, and on these special exotics, are we going to see a massive crash coming soon. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next time in another video for Exotic Car Hacks.